Hi guys, I trust you're well. I just wanted to do another video about Ableton and ProPresenter. Now I've done two before. I've also done a webinar for Loop Community, and I know it's an increasingly hot topic. But someone pointed out to me the other day that I've not really shown it in practice how it works. I've shown the theory of how to set it up, but I've not shown both text and videos working in conjunction, automated by Ableton, particularly from session view. So here goes my template. Let me drag that out of the way for the moment. This is my ProPresenter. It's a restart, so it's still a little bit sparse, but I've got a whole bunch of songs in there. I've got some set to automate. I've got some lyric videos, a ton of background videos. I've got the two connected on the same computer using the IAC driver, which I'll show you how that works in a moment, for those of you that still aren't sure. So let me trigger off some. Let's trigger off a live. So when I press the trigger button on Ableton, it's going to send a note to a live to call up a lyric video that sits within a certain playlist. The video starts in time with the track, and the lyrics will come up just before we need to sing them. I can tinker with it to make sure that they're exactly where they need to be, but this is fine for a demo. So here we go. So you get the idea, the video will just play through, bang in time with the click and the loop, so it looks super tight, sounds super fresh, and it's a whole load of fun. Let me just stop that one a minute. So I'm going to stop that in ProPresenter just a second, and then stop the track in Ableton. Okay, so let's load up a slide video now. So let's pull up Forever, for example. So I've pressed Forever. It's told it which background video to load this time, from which playlist. It's loaded the song from the playlist into the viewer, and then just as we need the words for the verse, they're going to come up. We'll just let this play to the next interlude just to show you the kind of things that you could do. So now when we hit the interlude that's coming off, we'll go to a black screen or a blank screen. And again, it's gone to actually to slide number 10. This could be a separate video, it could be something with a few words coming and flashing off, it could be anything that we wanted, just to really make the point, and then it'll go back into the verse. And again, if I was arranging on the fly using Ableton, whichever section of the song I chose to go to, ProPresenter would follow me. Let's load another song. I'll leave that one on the screen just so you can see how it cancels and overloads. So let's load Cornerstone. There we go, it's changed the background image straight away, and it's gone to slide number 10. We'll just wait for the lengthy intro just to show it coming into verse 1. So again, just a really super fresh way of just spicing up the visuals on a Sunday, on a service. But also opening up a whole load of opportunities for using different types of videos that the band could be playing behind or in between interludes, etc. So there we go, this is Cornerstone progressing. Let's trigger off another one. Let's trigger off a lyric video for Avalanche. So the sound you're hearing in the clips coming from Ableton. The video is triggered now. The video's just started playing. So wait to black screen. The video is black to begin with, so nothing obvious kind of happening until we start singing and we need the lyrics. Here they come. So you'll find a ton of lyric videos available that people are making available online. If you find the one that matches the arrangement of your loop, it's fairly easy to sync them together once you've got that. So let's trigger off another one. Let's trigger off maybe God's Great Dance Floor.
1, 2, ready, go.
God's Great Dance Floor
in A.
So as that triggers, it's going to fade out and bring in the next video. Again, I could make that a little bit quicker and tidier if I wanted to, but again, this is a really creative video.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
So you get the idea. And then we've got some of that video. So if I was to trigger off Guardian, for example,
3, 4.
with all that, the drums, because I've got the option with the track, but it's loaded the background that I want for Guardian.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
And we'll just let it until it loads verse 1 and moves through at a fairly quick rate the first 3 slides. So we'll let them play, and then you get the idea of how these automated videos and lyrics are working.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
again, we can still have complete control over the template for each song. We can change the size of the lyrics, the font. I've just really thrown this together as a bit of a demo to show how it works, and also as a starting of a rethinking process for me. So there we go, that's Guardian done. So let me turn that off a minute and talk you through how this all works. So it depends on whether you are doing it all from one computer, if you've got the processor and the memory to do it, or whether you're doing it from two computers. But it all starts using, I'm doing this between two Apples or on one Apple Mac or between two Apple Macs. It all starts using the audio MIDI setup that comes with Apple. You've got two things that come up here when you go into the MIDI studio. You've got IAC driver and you've got network. If you want to connect two programs on the same computer using MIDI, you go to the IAC driver. I've got a chord book, ProPresenter and Mainstage in mine at the moment. So I'm using you just add the port and you rename it to ProPresenter. Or you can create a Wi-Fi network or a network over Ethernet cable and send MIDI over there. So you open up your network, it shows you everybody on the same network or Wi-Fi. You click connect and it creates a Wi-Fi MIDI or Ethernet MIDI connection between those two computers. So once you've got the computers talking together, then you go to your ProPresenter. In ProPresenter, in Preferences, you can activate by or demo the MIDI module that's available. You just do that by clicking on Modules. Go into Communication and set up a MIDI device by Add Device, Add MIDI. Connect it. Once you add it, it'll ask you the ISE drivers or the network driver. Go into MIDI setup, and here is where you can put the value in against each note for each side, or you can press 0 and press autofill. So I have got my notes set up for all of these things here. So forward, back, rewind, go to beginning, clear all, next slide. Select by index, so select playlist item is this particular note, and then the MIDI note's intensity will determine the index of the item you wish to invoke. For example, if we wanted to load a playlist item, we would go to playlist, we would put in F#1, which would select the playlist item. The number within the playlist item is determined by whether we put the velocity anywhere between 1 to 127. So what that means in real terms is we can have up to 127 songs within one playlist and up to 127 slides within each song, or up to 127 videos within one playlist. So let me show you that in Ableton. So if we now open up, bring Ableton back onto the screen. Okay, so my Ableton template, a whole bunch of songs. Alive, let's start with Alive. In MIDI triggers, I've got this column here, which is called ProPresenter, and I've activated the MIDI network to allow me to send that to IAC driver ProPresenter. If I was sending it over the internet or via the network, I would do it on KP MIDI network. In this instance, on the same computer. Let me double click into the note for Alive. So it's this video note here. So I've got video and ProPresenter, both going to the same network. Click into video, and I've got two notes going on. The first note here is a particular note which determines the playlist, the video playlist, and that's telling me that it's video playlist number 5. So if we quickly go back to ProPresenter, here are my video playlists here, and video playlist number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lyric videos. So it's going to that playlist. The next note, which is set in between measure 3 and 4 of bar 2, you can see is again a particular note set on velocity number 1. This note stands for play video, and the velocity is 1, so it's play video number 1. So it's going to playlist number 5, video number 1. Video number 1 of playlist number 5 is the lyric video for Alive. So boom, when ProPresenter gets that particular 2 MIDI notes at that particular velocity, that's what's going to happen. Videos are quite straightforward to do. You just make sure you drag this note into the right point so the video triggers in time with the loop, and you're away. Slightly more complicated, but not difficult, is a song. So let's go to our demo, one that we use for Cornerstone. So let's double click into the MIDI note. So here you can see we've got a lot more MIDI notes ranging over 241-ish bars. So let's zoom in at the start to see what's going on. Now at the beginning, I've got a consistent group of MIDI notes that I use at the start of every song with a slide, and they start off with clear everything. So let's go back to a clear screen so we're not getting any crosstalk. The next note is telling me to go to playlist. So go to playlist number 1. So again, back in ProPresenter, playlist number 1, or at the moment the only playlist, is the songs that I've got set up ready to receive automation from Ableton. Then it's going to go to this note, which is actually video number 70. Now, video number 70 is backgrounds, and if we scroll all the way down to 70, we will see that it should be, there we go, the Sunrise Waters. So it's going to load Sunrise Waters. The next thing that Ableton's going to tell it to do, it's down here, is go to song number 3. So back to ProPresenter, 1, 2, 3 is Cornerstone. Going well so far. And then the next note is the same note that I will then copy and paste through the rest of the song, and that tells it to go to a specific slide. And if we come down here, this velocity is 10. And hopefully you can see the number pop up there just on the toolbar. If you want to see this more clearly, you can just drag it bigger, and you can drag this pane, and you can even drag this bigger so you've got more room to play with the velocities. Little tip, hold down Command when you're dragging, you get a bit more sensitivity. So then I simply go through the song and I say, okay, at bar 16, I want to put that note again, copy and paste that note and set the velocity to 1. That will be slide number 1. At bar 24, copy and paste the note again, set the velocity to 2. That will be slide number 2. At bar 34, copy and paste the note, set the velocity to 1. It'll go back to 1. And you go through the whole song just creating that. So if I zoom out, you'll see that we've got a whole bunch of notes at varying velocities. That's how easy it is to do a lyric video. If I just close that one down a minute, scroll down and double click into Hallelujah, which is another song I've set them up for, and scroll out, you see exactly the same thing happening here. Whole bunch of notes, the same few at the beginning telling it to cancel, one telling it what background to load, one telling it what playlist to load, what song to load, and then talking you through the arrangement of the song. Really easy, there's a whole load of commands to do it. If you want a bit of help, drop me a message and I will help you out. There is this ProPresenter MIDI cues project going around on the internet. I think originally it may be Will Doggett from Loops in Worship who set that one up, now at Multitracks I think. So thank you to Will for making this available. I've customized it to change and add some more notes, add some more functions to it, but mainly expand the range so they're all there. I use them when I'm doing it in arrangement view, but for session view, as long as I know what the notes are, I can copy over the select playlist number 1 button into a blank slide, double click into it to see what the note is. Great, know what it is, copy and paste it. And then I literally just copy all the MIDI notes into one long slide as I've shown you, and I've got complete control over everything that I need. So I think that's everything. I hope that helps. My idea is to gradually build this up, get quite creative, fill some instrumentals with some gaps, maybe start with some intro videos, countdown videos, whatever I might want, and gradually build up a whole set list of ProPresenter cues in my Ableton, so that when I go out on the road, I'd have the option of putting in a video feed straight into the Ableton laptop, which would allow me to run my own lyrics, or if I ever take 2 MacBooks, if I'm ever blessed in that position to take 2 MacBooks, I can create a network. I'm also looking at doing something similar in our church building, probably with a Mac Mini or something like that, which would allow us to constantly be able to send automation to the back. So hope that helps, hope that unlocks some creativity, starts your brains thinking, and just looking at other ways that we can get programs talking together to just improve our times of leading worship together and create environments where people can really lose themselves in worship to our God. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.